And so, welcome YouTube and Facebook family, and welcome Instagram. I'm going to be having to look both ways because I could not get this other camera. I wanted to streamline everything to be on this camera. So, I'm going to be looking at two cameras today. And today, I'm going to talk a little bit about dating potential. But before I do that, housekeeping rules. I just wanted to first thank you all for watching my content. I am Mrs. Danielle DeVita. I am a relationship and femininity coach. And my goal is to help women get on their feminine journey. It is to help you vet for the man that you deserve, and vice versa. My goal is to also help men vet. A lot of times people think that men don't need help vetting, but they do. So let me actually move the camera so it looks like I'm seeing both at the same time because I hate having to move. Um, Look at both differently. So here we go. Um, all right. So if I'm not looking at directly at you, I do apologize. So first, let's get started on a few things. Um, Again, thank you for watching my content. For those who do, um, I I talk a little bit about everything from dating to marriage to vetting to accountability to having the mindset. So today I'm going to talk about dating potential, and I've done a video on this before, even on a contributor site, right? But a lot of people do not like that I talk about dating potential. So let me preface by saying there is a cap on who should date potential. Because once you hit over 40, that potential should have already been met, right? So I'm talking to those who are in their 20s and their 30s because usually that's the term you hear for those in that age. I don't have time to date potential. I don't want to date potential because usually people are established when they hit their 40s and going into their 50s and so forth. So I think potential is they assume that means dating or creating a project. Dating potential and a project are two different things. So let me explain what I mean by this. A lot of women do not like to date potential because they feel as though they are helping a man do his job, so to speak. They are helping a man be the man that he needs to be, fulfill his responsibilities in his masculinity and so forth. But that's not the case. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you're dating a man who sees his own potential, not you see it. See, the difference is if you see a man who you feel that has potential, what you're going to do is you're going to say, "Oh, well, I think he can do X, Y, and Z. So I'm going to push him to do X, Y, and Z." And then when he falls short, it's like you put so much time and energy in it for him to be groomed for the right woman that just so happens not to be you. But in this case, I'm saying you should date someone who you see he sees his own potential, which means there's progress being made, there's building blocks, he has a foundation, and as you are in the relationship, as time progresses, he's then going to show his potential. He's going to move into this the man that he's supposed to be. He's gonna step into his confidence, his masculinity, and his responsibilities without you having to do so. Um, so and again, I'm sorry if I'm looking both ways because I have two different cameras, one for Instagram and YouTube and Facebook here. So dating potential is this man sees his own potential. This man sees his own worth, and you're not pushing him to that potential. A lot of women like dating projects where they can fix someone up. You want someone who's already at their best, because when they're at their best and you're at your best, you guys know that you're a match. Because what happens is sometimes you tend to date people and they're what you call out of your league. And when you finally get to that status that you want, you realize you guys aren't a match. You're not equally yoked. You don't think the same things. So again, I want to make sure I help you understand. Dating potential doesn't mean you see his potential and you're pushing him towards his potential. It means he sees his own. A great example I like to use is the guy going into the NBA. You are his cheerleader. So you can encourage him, but you're not going to teach him how to play the game. You're not going to teach him how to dribble and how to shoot and all of those things. You're not his coach, right? You're not going to coach him and groom him to be the professional player that he needs to be. He already has the skill for it. He already knows how to do it. All you're doing is being an encourager and a cheerleader, right? So you are dating someone who sees his own potential. As the relationship progresses, as you're a month in, 2 months, 3, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 months in, you should see there's a progression, there's change in the relationship. If you don't see that, then that moves to what I wanted to talk about, the difference between patience and tolerance. A lot of people confuse the two, but they are completely different things. Let me help you understand. Patience means you're giving people time to grow. So if you say, hey, I see that you have, you're saying in your head, I see this person has potential and he's moving towards something. So if you say, you know what, I like chivalry. I like you to push, pull out my chairs, open my doors. And he's never done this before growing up, right? So you're going to give him time to get there. You're going to give him time to move to remembering to open doors all the time, especially if it's not something he's done. If he's someone that was doing something before and he's trying to reform, reformation takes time. So what I mean by that is you're going to give people time to grow. You can't ask them one time and then hope that they never ever do it again, because sometimes habits, people are forced to have to learn and remember not to do those things. They have to be mindful. So you have to give people time to grow. But if you say, you know what, this person has either told me or showed me, they've shown me, that I'm not going to change. This is how I am. This is, I'm not going to make any change. Then basically they're saying, take me as I am, and I'm not making any changes. And if you continue to entertain that person in a relationship, continue to date them, that's tolerance. That means you're tolerating a behavior you do not like. But patience means you're giving people time to change, time to grow. So a lot of times women are in relationships longer than they should because they think that they're just being patient for the person to grow, but they have been inert in all of their ways, right? There's no movement, there's no progression, there's no change, they're stagnant, they will not grow. That is beyond patience, my ladies. That is tolerance. You're tolerating something you do not want, and tolerance is not a good thing. You can build tolerance to pain. The more you hurt, the more you're in pain, you become immune to it, desensitized to it, all those things, right? Well, we do not want that. We want patience, not tolerance. And again, we want a guy with potential, a guy who sees his own potential, not you seeing his potential. It's great that you see his potential, but he needs to see his own potential. We're not building a man. We're not treating a man as a project. And that's the same thing for men. You don't want to build the woman you want. You want to be with a woman who's already trying to progress towards those things. So with that being said, and I really hate this camera. The quality is not good on this one as it is this one over here. So if you want to date potential, you can. You just have to make sure that that person is seeing their own potential and they're growing. You can see foundation. You can see walls being built. And I'm thinking in terms of if you want to visualize in terms of a house. If a person is saying they're building a home, you're going to see a foundation. You're going to see walls being built. You're going to see a roof. Then you're going to see, furniture and things on the inside. you're going to see a house being built over time. You're not going to see a person saying that they're going to build and they have potential, but all it is vacant land. You're going to see that person is building. And what happens when vacant land has a building or a property on it? It increases its equity. So a person will grow as they start to build. But again, this is not you. This is not you helping someone build. You are with them, encouraging them, but they see their own potential. So when I say you can date potential, that means you can date a man who is on his way and he sees that he's on his way and he's making progress and he's building tent poles, right? So tent poles. But if you want to have a project, then it won't work. Because what's going to happen is it's going to be like in Two Can Play That Game. Well, Wendy Raquel Robertson's character, she was building, I think it was, who was the guy? I think it was Bobby. So the singer Bobby, what is it? Whitney's Bobby. I don't know why I can't think of his name right now, but Whitney Houston's Bobby, right? So he was the character where she was building him up, and once he got where, to where he thought he looked good, he didn't even want her. So, and I want to say he acted as if he was trying to talk to other women or things like that. Because when you build a man and he finally smells himself and he sees his own potential, he's going to now date the people who he already wanted to date. And that may not have been you, or it could have been you. So, but a lot of times it's not, because sometimes when men go after what they want, they get that confidence for the things and the people they want. They're dedicated to those things. But when you have to push them, then it's almost like they're being forced. You're treating them like a child, right? So I think you can date potential, just not build a project. And I think you have to understand when to leave a relationship. Are you having patience, or are you just tolerant of a few things? So I know I got on my live a little bit late. I know I'm not on for a long period of time, but I still wanted to do something tonight and go over a few things. And I truly believe that a lot of people have so many preferences of what they want. A lot of people don't have standards these days. They have preferences. I need my man to be 6 feet tall. I need him to have this credit score. I need him to be this. I need him to be that. I need him to do this. I need him to do that. And none of those things are standards. None of those things are fundamental issues. None of those things will have you be equally yoked. Equally yoked can be something as simple as what you guys believe in as far as care of your family at all, if you believe in it. Marriage, so all that encompasses family and how you care. So your parenting styles in general need to be consistent. I would say also your fundamental views about life, how you feel about life, where a woman carries in her womb, life as far as how you value life. Also, I would say how you generally think about some political views, because a lot of your political views change how you see the world. So you want someone to have similar lenses as you. You don't want to be looking through different lenses. And same thing with money. If one person is free with money and the other person is frugal with money, it may create a rift, because it's going to be how you spend money, how you view life. A lot of these things go into play. These are part of being equally yoked. You do not want someone to view life from a completely different lens, completely different. As I understand, everyone's not going to agree on everything. But when you have completely different lenses, it makes it hard for it to work, because then you're always going to be at odds, especially when they're fundamental issues. If they're small things, that's different. But if the foundation is the same, so think of that. If your foundation is the same, that's okay. So let's talk about again, when I say dating potential, a lot of women are saying, you know what, I'm fed up with these men and fed up with that. And a lot of men are saying they're bitter towards women and they don't want, they're tired of women and their views and their thoughts. Well, let me help you understand that how you are is going to also be what you attract. If you are only attracting dusty people, you might be dusty. Not in all cases, but when you start to realize that you're dating the same type of people, you're getting with the same type of people, you're mating with the same type of people, that's when it becomes a situation of what am I doing that makes me only attracted to this kind of guy or this kind of woman? Why am I only attracted to this? Because what you're attracted to is a mindset, it's a character trait that you're attracted to. And the question is why? A great example is, because men like to say this, is why are women attracted to bad boys? Because bad boys have something that women want. It's a level of masculinity, a level of confidence and swag, charisma. These are a level of that she believes that he can protect, provide, and put it down. So this is what women want. And this is what these types of guys, whether they be street guys, thugs, bad boys, whatever it is, they exude that. Same thing like the athlete. They exude that level of confidence and roughness that the woman wants. Now, also, if you think about, why do men want women who look like this Barbie doll look? And I'm not trying to be facetious when I say that, but I'm trying to generalize. A lot of men like when I say Barbie doll, the perfect proportion, even though technically Barbies are not perfectly proportioned, but that look where she's like perfect. She's beautiful. She's perfect. Her hair is put together. Her face is put together. Her body is put together. And when you think, why do guys like that? Well, when you have to understand that men are visual. Men, when they see a woman, they love to see, they see beauty. And from there, they act on that. That's how they determine if then do they like your personality? Do they like the way you carry yourself? Do they like your mindset? So you have to understand the same way women like a certain guy for a certain thing, men also like that. Why do men like that particular image? Why do they like that beauty? Well, you can ask a man why, but most people like beauty. Men like to see beauty and look at beauty. So, and that gets them going, right? That gets the man going. So you have to understand that if a man, just like women have their preferences and why, then you have to see, okay, well, why do you have this preference? The question after that is lust. Why does he not have self-control is the real question, because everyone likes beauty. Everyone sees something that's beautiful and like it and admire it. The question is, the lust, the self-control, because some men seem to not be able to have some level of control of how they act on that beauty, or how many people in which they act upon their thoughts and feelings. So when you understand why people do what they do or the reasoning behind it, then maybe you can say, okay, why am I with this person? Why am I making the decisions that I'm making? Why am I entertaining the people I'm entertaining? Does it have to do with my lack of self-love? Does it have to do with my level of confidence? Does it have to do with my insecurities? What does it have to do with? Why am I being with the same person? Why is like the guy with the same type of girl? Even though they're different women, it's the same mindset. Why? What is it about my mindset that makes me want to go with people with this same type of mindset? Because you can still be with people of the similar traits, but a different mindset. So you could essentially, and so let's go back to the bad boy. The woman doesn't, well, some women do, but is it the woman that, does she really want a bad boy, or does she just want a masculine man who knows how to protect, provide, and put down? Is that what she wants? So the answer is yes. Is it possible to have a man who is a business guy? He knows how to protect, provide, put down, and he has a look that she's looking for. A good example is, which I guess a lot of women still consider him like a street guy, when you think about power, you think about Ghost was this street. He was at one point the street guy, but he looks now like the business guy. So someone could still have the same aura, but not necessarily be, you know, the street dude. And I give that example because it's really a not the career, not the it's the attitude behind it. It's their character, their how they are as a person. So that's all going to go to mindset, not what career they have, not what they're doing in life. A lot of people like to talk about the educated men, but these educated men can also be men who are masculine, who can provide, who can protect, and who can put down, right? So, and I think a man would probably use my terms in a different way instead of saying what women, for guys who are skilled and know what women want in those areas. I say provide, protect, and put down, but I think some people have different terms of what they want to use with that. But I think at the same time, there are men who want women who are, and I'm going to say it, and it's going to hurt some people. They want women who look good and who are feminine. And yes, they're peaceful. There are going to be men who want that. And it's not, for some people, it's a cliche because there are people who have said that and it stems from it's rooted in a whole lot of other bitterness, right? But who doesn't want someone who looks good? Who doesn't want a man who wants to be masculine does not want a woman who's feminine. And you can see all about what I say femininity is. And so the same way a woman wants a guy who looks good, who can provide, which a lot of women like to call it this high earning man, the 6-figure man, which I don't think that every man's going to be 6-figure, nor does that make sense for have everyone to be 6-figure. I think really a man who can provide, which means he's financially stable. So you could be in an area where 60,000, 70,000 could definitely do well for you. Do you have to have a man that makes 6 figures, or are you trying to look at someone else's relationship and call up relationship goals, and then that's what you want because you really don't know how their relationship is doing? So again, the goal here is to date people who have building blocks. They have a foundation. They're building walls like a house. They have a roof. They're not someone saying, I'm doing this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to hustle, but you still see vacant land. You don't see a house being built. So progression, there needs to be progression. Just like in my vetting video, when I talked about progression in your relationship, from the first date, there should be a difference by the time you get to date 3. There should be exclusivity, right? There should be, when you get to 6 months, you're talking about what do you want in the future? When you get to 9 months, what do we need to fix to make sure we have a future together? Should we go our separate ways? Should we work on things if things aren't great? After that, then it needs to be talking about what are we doing? Because I believe that you date with a purpose. You date with the end goal. You don't just date to date. It's a waste of time to do that then. And that man is missing out on a woman who he deserves to be with if he's messing around with you. And you're missing out on the man that you need to be with because you're messing with someone who's not wanting to see you outside of hookup. Is this the world that we're in now where we're just doing hookup culture? Situationships, struggle love? Is that what we're doing? Or are we dating because we want marriage? Are we dating because we want a family? Are we dating because we want that courtship? We're moving towards something. We're doing what Beyonce said, putting a ring on it. Is this what you want? Do you want the ring or do you just want the status? Because anyone can have the status. A man can drop a woman like a bad habit and have a new woman. A woman could decide she don't want to be with the man and move on to the next. And then you'll be the S. So the goal is, do you want just a ring, just to say you have it and not make it work? Or do you also want the ring and the relationship that, that goes with it? The happy, cohesive relationship. Because a lot of people are together, but just because you're married, just because you're dating doesn't mean you have a happy and healthy relationship. That means something. That should be important to you. All right. So if you are watching, if you are listening and you want to chime in, definitely do so. You can go, if you're watching me from Instagram, you can request to join. Tell me your thoughts. If you are here, let me put if you want to come on StreamYard, if you're on my YouTube and you want to say your 2 cents, you can definitely do so too. Whatever it is you want to talk about. What's going on in the society. Why do you think there's struggle of? Why do you think there's hookup cultures? Do you think people believe in marriages? Do you think people should date potential or not? Let me know. I believe dating potential is okay in your 20s and 30s. Do I think it's okay in the 40s? No. Again, dating potential are two different. Dating potential and having a project are two different things. It really is. We're not trying to build a man or build a woman. We're trying to get with people who really want the same things we want. So there's progression on both parts, not one person doing all the work. So when I say dating potential, this person sees their own potential. But, someone may have a different take. So if you think that people should not date potential, or you think people should, let me know. Man or woman, I love different perspectives. So if you want to join, go ahead and join. If you want, I think I have, if you're listening on, if you're over here and you're listening on Facebook or YouTube, I have my StreamYard link. And so you can link onto here. I prefer that you have your camera available because I'm on camera as well. And I would like to know who I'm speaking to. And if you're on Instagram, you're able to request to join and let me know, because a lot of people can tell you they don't believe people should date potential, but I think it's semantics. I think it's what people are saying. I think what I'm saying is the same thing they're saying. It's just semantics. Potential to me is that person sees their own potential, not you see their potential and you're trying to help them grow. It's you actually see, you're with someone who sees their own potential, sees their own growth, and they're actually progressing and making that growth. All these things really matter. It matters. Because if not, then you're just having a project on your hand. And we're not in the business of building a bear, building a man. This is not some type of utopia or something like that. So, let me see here. And I think last time I talked about submission, and I know that may be a triggering word for a lot of people, but when I say submission, of course, I do not mean you're just this obedient wife. I actually said you submit to one another, and a man submits in different ways than women. Women, to a man, submission is the same as respect. That's equal to how women want love, men want respect. That's essentially what it is. Men want respect, women want love. You're submitting to one another. Paul, yes. I know. Normally I get on here closer to like 9:30 to 10. So I'm like really late. Normally I'm ready to go to bed. But yes, everyone is asleep or they're on some other type of discussion board. But they usually listen on the playback. So, and I'm just now starting to do these lives. I actually just started, I want to say last week or the week before, where I try to do my lives on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And I was actually doing it on Instagram. So this is my first time actually doing it on YouTube and Facebook. So I'm going to start doing my lives simultaneously for that. So, but yes, let me know. Do you have any thoughts, Paul, about dating potential? Again, there's a cap. What I say in the 40s, usually that potential should have been met. But, a lot of people disagree with me. No, we don't need to date potential. People need to be where they are. Well, it's not really fair. People can't always be where they are in their 20s and 30s. You're still growing. You're still, finding your career, finding yourself and the things you want. So you have to give people time. Now that's the patience, giving people time. Then when time has passed and people aren't growing, that's when I say it's now you're just tolerating things. Patience and tolerance are two different things. And then, I might need to do a video on hot girl summer because a lot of people are upset saying that women have the hot girl summer and that women have their what they like to call HO season. But I think men have those same things. It's just a term that women tend to say more. But I think men have that time, which is usually their 20s, to sow their royal oats. So that's the term that men use, and the women just use it differently. But I think it's time that we not do that anymore because we waste all of our precious moments, our youth, and endless and never ending relationships that are just going to really be situationships. You're going nowhere in these relationships and you wasted all of your 20s and 30s, both men and women, to be in relationships that won't do you any good. And then you'll be stuck in your late 30s and 40s wondering what happened. So my goal is to help you get what you want in your 20s. Get the man you want now. Get the woman you want now. Instead of, you can definitely go out and see what the world is like. And I might be a little skewed because I met my husband at 21 and I don't feel like I'm missing out. I'm seeing women right now in their 20s and their 30s and 40s and even more so wishing that they were with a man, wishing they were with someone that loved them back, wishing they had someone that they loved, wishing they were with someone who was able to provide, protect, and put down. And I feel that I got those things early and I'm not missing out. And there's some people who already had that, like they've been married or they've been doing things, and that's fine. But there's people who have not had that. And they want to know what it's like, but they feel that they need to go out and have this use their 20s and 30s to just get into everything. But I think you don't have to do that. I think you can use those times wisely. I think you can use your 20s and your 30s to be in a relationship that would be beneficial to you. You can have children young and get when you're older, you're still happy and moving and doing what you need to do, rather than being on someone's channel trying to figure out where do you go from here. And I don't want that for you guys. But if you're here, my goal is to help. My goal is to always help you no matter what age you are, because it's never too late. It's too late once you're gone, once you're dead and gone. But once you're still here, you have the ability to make a change, to grow. You have that ability. So again, if you're a woman, my goal is to help you get on your feminine journey. And that femininity is not just for relationships or romantic relationships. You being feminine can help in all facets. It can help in your parenthood, how you treat your children, how you interact with your children, how you interact with your colleagues, your associates, business partners, your family. This will help in all familial relationships. And of course, your romantic relationship. But I will tell you, there are perks to being feminine, because wherever femininity is, there is masculinity there right behind you. Even if it's a person that you're not trying to be involved with. I think the same way, if you think about, let's flip it. Let's not talk about women for a second. If you are a man and you want and you are exuding masculinity and you are stepping into what it is that you were designed to be, and you were doing your thing, you were hustling and all of those things, there's going to be women clinging to you, especially feminine women. So you have to understand it has its perks. And if you wonder why these bad boys or these street boys have women flocking to them, it's because wherever masculinity is, feminine women want to be around it, whether it is romantic or not. Just women want to be around a feminine, a masculine man, and masculine men want to be around feminine women. And this is not just romantic relationships that's trying to be formed. It's how it is. A positive and a negative charge has to work. If you want to know, if science is telling you how it is. So for those who are saying, oh no, this is your opinion, Danielle, no, no, no. Because if you want to know why thunder, why the thunder noise, how does that occur? Look it up. There's a negative and a positive charge. There's a positive charge in the air that hits the negative, and boom, they clash together and make the thunder noise. If you want to know how there's a hurricane and a tornado, the hot in a tornado is on land, so it's the hot air and the cold air hits together and creates this tornado, right? If you want to know how a hurricane is formed, there's the cold air hitting the hot water. So the water is warm, and then there's cold air, and when it hits it, it forms into a hurricane, right? You think about a battery, a negative and a positive charge. When your car goes out, you need that negative and positive charge to flick it. When you think about making a fire, you need a friction. So one is going one way, one is going the other. You take those rocks and those sticks. There has to be an opposite. Opposites attract. That is a true term. So what I'm saying to you, and think about even homosexual relationships. When you think about even just two men or two women, there's always someone having more feminine energy and the other person's having more masculine energy. Think about the woman who is more masculine and then the other person. Think about in a male relationship, there is one man who appears to be more masculine than the other, or I should say, one being more feminine than the other. So in every relationship, there's always a masculine and a feminine, or a positive and a negative dynamic. Think about if you are someone who has a green thumb. Think about when they tell you to make trees, they tell you, or to produce fruit from the ground, they tell you put two trees together. One is a male species trees and one is a female tree, and you put them together and it will grow faster than if you just had one tree. Look it up. This is nature. This is nature. Do you not understand? This is science. So everything I'm saying, the foundation is science. So for those who need science, you got it. So all I'm telling you is how I know for a fact how it's working, not just in my life, because I had to get on my feminine journey, how I've known it to work on in other people's lives, how I see it, how I observe. Just observe people. Go to the airport and observe people. Go to, a car wash where you have to sit and get your car washed. Go to places where people are out and moving about and you have to sit and watch. Go to Target or Walmart or Publix and see how people interact, and you can see different energies and how people vibe. Go to the mall and just where there's lots of people, and you can view and you can see how these dynamics are working. I love studying human behavior. Now, and the thing about it is my background is both legal and communications. So with that being said, I see how people communicate, both their verbal, their nonverbal, how people interact with others, and also, how people, that mindset, that logical and analytical mindset that people have. Some have it more than the others. Some are more led by their emotions, and some are led by their logic. So you have to understand that when you understand that people who have similar mindsets are going to attract. So if I have a certain mindset, I'm going to attract a certain person. Certain people won't even come my way if our mindsets are different, because why? Our energy is different. So you have to understand, if you're dating the same type of people and it's not working out, what is it about you and your energy that you're giving off? I'm not saying it's always you, but I think we need to have ourselves a little accountability. We can't always blame other people. We have to understand, what decisions did I make? Who did I entertain and why did I entertain them? Who did I have children with and why did I have children with that person, especially if I'm not with them anymore? Men and women. This is accountability. This is a time. This is what I did in my marriage. I held myself accountable. Not that my marriage was horrible or anything, but I had to think to myself, instead of pointing the fingers about what he is not doing, how can I be a better wife? How can I be a better mother? What can I do to make my relationship work? And when I stepped into my femininity, when I held myself accountable, I realized ways I can improve and be better, how I can change my mindset. And when I did that, what happened? My husband changed on his own because he saw a change in me. And again, this is not to say that my relationship was bad or anything, but we grew. But we grew in a healthy, more healthy and mature version of ourselves. I would say mature because you have to understand, we got married at 21. I'm 35 now. So a lot has changed. A lot of growth has been made. So the question today for you is, if we were talking about dating potential, have you matured? Are you mature? Are you growing? Are you emotionally intelligent? And that's very big for women. Why is that big for women? Because we as women are we our emotions are a big thing, are part of us. How we move, the decisions we make, a lot of it is based off of our intuition, our feelings, our emotions. We just have to make sure that we're not emotionally charged to the point that our decision making is not set on foundation, solid ground, that we're just, impulsivity is taking over. We don't want that. We want to make sure that we're thinking things through. And we have to make sure we understand that men are not as emotional as we are in the decision making process. They're more logical. So when they're more logical and we get too emotional, it's hard for them to understand and see us where we're coming from, because our emotions are taking over. So we have to get to the point where we grow. We are more mature in how we react and handle situations, and intelligent in when and what, and as you remember me saying, time, place, and manner. So that's the intelligence part. Now that you understand, you recognize, you acknowledge your emotions. Is this the time to have this particular emotion? Is this the place, and is this a manner in which I should express this emotion? Once you understand that, once you harness that, that will be emotional intelligence. And with emotional intelligence, with wisdom, with guidance, with proper vetting, then you'll be able to know how to properly vet for the right man and have the potential in dating, or having the knowledge to know who has the true potential. Because again, that potential is going to be something the man knows he has. He has potential and he's aware of his potential. Not you are aware of his potential, but he has no idea. Because other than that, you just got a project on your hands. I say this more for women than men because women like to create projects. Men are not projects. And men sometimes like to save, women. Like, women are not damsels in distress. You want a woman who is trying to progress and she's mindful of the things she says and she does. She's feminine. That's what you want. You want someone like that. And again, for men, you can have patience, but now, when it's moved beyond patience, you're tolerating a woman just because what? She looks good. So now you have to ask yourself the question, are you making sound decisions? Because the goal for a man who leads, he makes sound decisions. Or are your decisions based on your little head? Are your decisions based on lust? Are your decisions, do you have self-control? Because that is a man who leads. He has self-control. He knows when and what to do with his feelings as well. He knows how to compartmentalize. Most men know how to do that than women. But sometimes men, they don't. They are blinded by the beauty and not able to see what's on the inside, that inner beauty. All right. So my goal here is to help everyone to be mindful of your decisions, mindful of your mindset, because that's the energy you're going to give off, and that's going to make to the determining decision of your decision, the decisions that you make and the people you entertain. And so then when you do that, when you have that level of intelligence and wisdom, then you'll understand what I mean when I say dating potential is not a bad thing. You just need to understand what the standards are, what preferences are, and make sure when you're dating potential, this person has standards and you have standards as well. Because dating potential, looking at preferences, things that are that means nothing, that can change, you know, then that potential is not going to mean anything because neither one of you guys have foundation. You're dating a dream. I'm trying to help you find a vision, the vision for the man you want. Danielle, how do you create a vision? There's vision boards you can do, but if you don't have one, you can take the time to say, what is it that I want in a man or a woman? What is it that I value in a man or a woman? So who's ever listening, what is it that I value? What is it that I want? You need to know both. First, what is it that you value should be first, and then you can imagine based off of those values, which should be rooted in standards, what is it that you want? When you find what it is that you want, then as you date people, you can determine, does this person add value to my life? And if they add value to your life, then you ask yourself the question, are they worth staying in my life? And if so, what goal do I have in mind with this particular person? You already should have an end goal of what you want. So for most people, it's marriage and family. So as you're with this person, then you determine, okay, I know what I value in this person or value in a man or a woman, depending who you are. I envision what I want. I'm sitting across from a person that I feel that they have these values and they add value to me. And I want this person. Do they have everything I want? Every preference? No. But do they have the standards? Yes. Am I just going to go and be with them? No. I'm going to look at a set of things to see if they have the potential for the things that I do want, if they can get there. If I talk, a lot of people just ghost people. Have communications. We are grown adults. We need to learn to communicate. I'm going to tell you, like I tell my children when they watch Word Party. Word Party is a TV show, like a cartoon type TV show that teaches kids how to use their words to explain whatever emotion they're feeling, to be able to articulate it. And you, as grown adults, need to know how to articulate how you're feeling. I know sometimes it's hard. Sometimes women need to provide a safe space for men to do that, because sometimes things that may not come out the way they're thinking in their head. So women, please provide men a safe space to do it. But both men and women, you need to learn to communicate what it is that you want, what it is that you need. And when you are able to do that, it makes it easier for us to have healthier relationships, because we're not assuming what you want. We're not guessing, we're not hoping, we're not wishing. I know what you want, you know what I want, and now we can move towards it. And if you don't want to move towards it, then we can move on with our life. If you don't want to go in that direction anymore, then we can move on in our life. But until then, let's communicate, let's talk about it, let's grow. All right, so again, I'm going to, if you still want to come on, you can. I did put the link for StreamYard in there, so you can definitely log in if you want. If you are on, well, StreamYard is for the my Facebook and YouTube people, but if you're on Instagram, you can just hit request on the like and then say your piece. Again, Tuesdays and Thursdays, I will be doing live. So I usually do them in the 9 o'clock hour, going from the 9 to the 10 o'clock. I did a little bit later this time. But if you want to, if you don't get a chance to get on and have that dialogue, that's okay. You're able to comment. You're able to, if you're on Instagram, follow me. I do content often. If you are on YouTube, you can subscribe. You can follow me if you're on Facebook. So the goal here is to create a dialogue. I know there's other people that have content where they create dialogue, but is it constructive? And that's the point. I want to make sure I have constructive dialogue where we can talk and there's no back and forth to the point where we're arguing. I don't want that. I want us to have a healthy dialogue. And let's see. All right. Paul, let's see. You have an international fall. Okay. All right. Wow. All the way from Kenya. And congratulations with your fiance. So congratulations, Paul. So yes, I appreciate all those who are watching, those who are international, and those who are, local to the U.S., which is where I am. But again, why do I do what I do? I want people, because most people want to have families, want to have children in their lifetime. I want you to have a footprint, a legacy, a brand where your children can go back and see what you have created, the family that you have created. When you think about this TV show, This Is Us, what did the Pearsons create? What did the husband and wife create for their family? They created, they showed them what love is, what happiness is, what family is. And that's what I want. I want, just like I want my children to be able to envy the type of relationship that I have, with their dad, and to want to have that kind of love. I want them not just to want to have it, but to expect it, to know that they're worthy of it, to deserve it, and to have the life that's necessary to get it, because mindset is needed for that. And I want you to have that too. I'm not going to keep this a secret. No. My goal is to help other women to have that same thing. That's what I want. I want you to get on your feminine journey just as I did. I want you to vet for the right man that you deserve, for the man that you want. And I want to put things in perspective in doing those things. So we could talk a little bit about that on the next live that I do. I'll try to do one on Thursday to talk about what you deserve. What type of man, based on the type of man you want, are you there? Based on the type of woman you want, are you there? Because a lot of people say, I want this type of man or I want this type of woman, but that person's out of your league, and not out of your league just based off of looks, but by mindset, by the whole shebang. So we're going to get it together and we're going to talk about it. This is not to hurt anyone's feelings. This is to be real. I want real and raw content. Don't y'all want that? Or do y'all want someone who's faking it till they make it? Because I don't believe in faking it till you make it. I believe in actually putting in the work. You don't see flowers blooming because they faked it. They were faking it, pretending like they were a flower when they were just a little stem. No, the work was put in. The sun was there. The water was there to help them blossom into the flower that they need to be. And this is what I want for you. I want to help you put this people in your life, to the things that you're listening to, the positive messages. That's the sun. I want to help be the water to help you find things to help you grow. I'm the water to help you grow, right? To help you get the mindset that you need. And that's what I want. So again, thanks for tuning in to Mrs. Danielle DeVita. I am out. Take care.